Track at Lonato, the KZ category. We saw a glimpse of what to expect in the shifter karting category with the KZ2 before, as the starting grid is appearing on the screen of your live streaming now, brought to you by the FIA television, of course, and broadcasted thanks to our partners all over the world. Wherever you are, you can actually follow like you were on location everything that's happening here at Lonato. And the drivers just made their way on the track into the first of the two warm laps that they're gonna have, just to get themselves on the grid. A standing start, of course, once again, as we had in KZ, unlike the Academy Trophy, where this is a running start. And this is gonna be certainly a furious kind of start, hopefully without any damage into the midfield, or even though in the top position. Francesco Salenta, main Kremers, this is your first row on the grid, but let's watch out for Paolo De Canto and Yori Pex, the CRG drivers, with the white, orange and black livery just on the second row. And Paolo De Canto could have a chance, I could have maybe a good shot at the title. You never know what might happen. As a reminder, Jeremy Iglesias is still leading the way after the first round at Salbury, ahead of Yori Pex and Marco Ardigo. This is still, of course, provisional. Just 1 point, one silly point between Yori Pex and Jeremy Iglesias. Chris, this is just the tiniest gap that you could have for a championship battle. Yori Pex might have the upper hand as we speak, because he's just fourth on the grid. Jeremy Iglesias is behind in second position, the winner at Salbury. So we shall see what happens. But Jeremy Iglesias is going to have a few ground and a few positions to recover if he, if he hopes to get a good shot at the title. It was very tight indeed during the Academy Trophy. Over to you, Chris, as the drivers are getting back on the starting grid. As you can see on the live stream, on the left side of the track, right side of your screen, is Francesco Salenta, the number 14, Marion Kremers alongside him. This is going to be fierce and furious. Chris, over to you for the KZ final.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. Well, 1 point, as you said, between Yorick Pex and Iglesias. To the left of your picture, you may be able to see the number 8 on the second row, and just behind him in the blue colours is Jeremy Iglesias. It's a straight fight for victory between those two. Don't count out Paolo De Canto either, third, who's 11 points behind. This is the last race of the season. Who's going to take the title? We'll find out in 25 laps as we're off away and racing. Francesco Salenta leads us down towards turn number 1, the Italian on home soil, taking the lead straight away. Kramer's in second place. De Canto is third place. Is that an Iglesias up to fourth place? I can see as they go in towards turn number 4 for the first time. It is. So Iglesias up to fourth place then. Fantastic start from the French driver as they come uphill then through the left-handers. Now where is Yorick Pex? Let's have a look as they come down towards the chicane. Yorick Pex has dropped positions. So Iglesias, well, this is 15 love to him at the moment. He strikes first. He's 7th place. I'm being 6th or 7th place, we can see as they come around the last corner. So across the line, it's Iglesias across the line in 4th place then. So it's Salenta, Kramers, De Canto, Iglesias, Lammers, Drazen, Pex, Federer, Hanley and Hiltbrand as we go up towards turn number 4 then for the second time. So this a fantastic start to the race for Jeremy Iglesias. He said on the grid he'd made some changes to the kart as he didn't feel he'd had the pace to go and win this before the race, and let's see if those are going to work out for him. Yorick Pex just said, well, this is just another race, and like any other race, he's going to have to try and get going now. This could just be a case of he's gone for a longer strategy in the race, and won't be too phased with this at the start, but either way he will not be happy to see Jeremy Iglesias ahead of him. Out front though, it's leading Francesco Salenta from Marin Kramers and Paolo De Canto.
Yeah, Francesco Salenta had the start he had hoped for, of course, leading the way after 2 completed laps into this KZ final. 0.3 of a second is the gap between Francesco Salenta and Mayan Kremers just behind. But Paolo De Canto had a beautiful start again, and when the light went off, is third and actually decreasing the gap on Mayan Kremers in second. We I think we're going to see some attempt from Paolo De Canto very soon, with just behind Jeremy Iglesias in 4th position. As you said, a beautiful jump start from Jeremy Iglesias. Jump start, of course, in the positive sense of the word. As we see another change in Paolo De Canto, making his way into the inside line into 2nd position. It just happened. Well spotted, Chris, in the last hairpin of the track, just before crossing the starting finish line. Paolo De Canto now running 2nd ahead of Ryan Kremers, and Jeremy Iglesias actually was close to do the same, and he gets past. Jeremy Iglesias gets passed by the 22 Bas Lammers, as he was hoping maybe to follow Paolo De Canto into 3rd position. That's the opposite that just happened to Jeremy Iglesias, the number 10 that you can see on screen with the and Pex in the meantime has been passed indeed. Fabian Federer just made the move before the chicane. It's happening off screen as Jori Pex just got passed by Fabian Federer. This is a battle for 7th position, but Paolo De Canto is now 2nd ahead on Bas Lammers is 3rd, Ryan Kremers is still 3rd. Jeremy Iglesias lost indeed a position just before, as he was hoping to get 3rd as well. Is now 5th, the winner of Salbris. And this is shaking up already quite a lot, Chris, in this top field, as the gap are still very tiny after 4 completed laps.
It is indeed, and I'll tell you what, the championship has just turned on its head here. Iglesias now leads by 1 point ahead of Paolo De Canto, who is currently chasing down Francesco Salenta. Jori Pex is just 2 points behind Iglesias, and Francesco Salenta himself is only 5 points off the championship lead. So just to kind of put that into context, Iglesias has 47 points, De Canto 46 points, Pex has 45 points, and Salenta, who's in picture there, 42 points. So it couldn't be any closer here. I'd say at this stage the favourite has to be Paolo De Canto, considering he is chasing down Francesco Salenta for the lead. Oh, and there comes a change. That was Fabian Federer down the inside of Kremers, I think that was, and Jori Pex went with him. So Fabian Federer, or was it on Rick Driesen? No, it was on Rick Driesen, so one of the other Brunel ALT drivers. So Federer went past, Jori Pex went with him. So now Jori Pex is going to get another point on the board and should go back into 2nd. There is a challenge from Ben Hanley having to fend off the number 5, but let's see Stan Pex as they now make their way out of the last corner and down the start-finish straight. Francesco Salenta has the fastest driver on track, chasing him down in Paolo De Canto. Jori Pex on 46 points, so we have Iglesias on 47 points. Paolo De Canto and Jori Pex tied for 2nd on 46 points, and there comes a move into turn 4. Iglesias has now lost a place to Fabian Federer, which means we're going to have 3 drivers tied on 46 points.
What a ton of event. It goes all around in this final after 6 completed laps. We're going to have a look at the gaps as they make their way into the hairpin. And Jori Pex is in trouble. Jori Pex is in trouble as he just got passed, I think, by Rick Driesen. It was very close. No, it just was very close to happen. Chris, you saw that?
No, Jori Pex trying to move on Iglesias, but didn't quite work out. But that is first attempt.
First attempt of many others to come. We shall see about that. Another attempt to come is the driver on your screen, the number 1 reigning world champion and European champion in the category, Paolo De Canto, one of the local heroes, certainly, the Italian driver chasing his fellow countryman, Francesco Salenta. This is a battle of the Italian drivers for the lead, for the win, and maybe for the title in case of Paolo De Canto. A fantastic battle of screen with Rick Driesen, I think, getting past Jori Pex, or still it was an attempt.
Iglesias losing places on this lap. He's lost places to Jori Pex, I think to Rick Driesen as well, maybe to Ben Hanley.
Let's have a look as they come across the starting line in front of us once again. Indeed, Jeremy Iglesias just lost 2 positions to Stan Pex, and even Pedro Hilden just got past. And Paolo De Canto back on the top is really strengthening his form just behind Francesco Salenta. Those two are just separated by less than a meter. This is happening on screen. Shall we see Paolo De Canto taking the inside line as they make their way into the chicane? Francesco Salenta is going to have to hold and try to fight back Paolo De Canto. The reigning world champion is going to try to take the inside line, maybe get a position and the lead. And he goes at the touch. This contact, I think, between Paolo De Canto and Francesco Salenta, and the Italian driver driving the number 1 chassis is now leading the race.
Yeah, Paolo De Canto takes the lead of the championship with that move then. It was certainly a bit of contact involved as he went up the inside. Salenta certainly wasn't expecting the move to happen, but Paolo De Conto is leading the championship here on lap number 10. Who expected that? Well, how could we have written him off? Paolo De Conto, reigning world and European champion, in the lead of the championship then. 51 points to Jorik Peks's 47 points, who is nowhere near the top 5 at the moment. Fabian Federer down the inside of Baz Lammers. That is a change for 4th place as they head through turn number 10, and that is unfortunately the number 20 out of the race, which is Mario Lubic. So Mario Lubic unfortunately out the race on lap number 11. As on lap number 10, sorry, this is now lap number 11. So the championship now looks like this. Paolo De Conto has 51 points, Jorik Peks has 47 points, Jeremy Iglesias has 42 points, and Francesco Salenta 37 points, with Ardigo on 30 points. So Paolo De Conto now has this championship in hand, and I think for him to lose it, he'll have to be beaten by Francesco Salenta, and that does not look like it is going to happen. Paolo De Conto doing what he does best, leading European championships. Is he going to do this one again? Across the start-finish line he comes in that number 1 car. Can he keep that number on his car once again? He's under investigation though. Well, Paolo De Conto under investigation. Is it for that move he did on Francesco Salenta? Is there going to be a penalty coming his way post-race? Well, how do we call this now? An official result for Paolo De Conto if he's under investigation. We're probably not going to get any more message through on that until post-race, but that is a big turn of events. Behind, it looks as if Kramers has been passed by Fabian Federer on this lap as they come down towards turn number 10. Federer is having a fantastic end to the weekend. This is what he did on practice day though, isn't it, Guillaume? He was quickest all day, and now he seems to have got that pace back finally.
An investigation is indeed for Paolo De Conto. Wow, what's going to happen? We shall see. It went very fast in one of the hairpin, Chris. We saw that briefly on screen. To me, it looked a bit aggressive, but still maybe a fair move. We shall see after the race and wait for the steward's decision, of course. Then, as we're not going to get into any speculation before the conclusion of this final. Paolo De Conto still leading the way, 7/10 of a second ahead on Francesco Salenta, who's going to see maybe Fabian Federer trying to chase him and catch the gap between those two. 1 second, one is the gap between Salenta and Federer. Mine Kramers dropped in 4, just in front of Bas Lammers in 5th. Jorik Peks is in 6th position with still 4 points behind Paolo De Conto in the provisional classification of the championship. Could Jorik Peks try to recover some ground and maybe decrease the gap on Paolo De Conto? We shall see about that. He's still in 6th position, the Dutchman, with the karting number 8. Good battle on screen right now with the number 93. This is Benjamin Halley, one of the wildcards, I'll get it right, from Britain, in 7th, chasing Jorik Peks. The 22 here on screen. This is Bas Lammers chasing as well. Mine Kramers. Everyone is chasing everyone in this race. The only driver maybe on track who has not much to worry about so far is Paolo De Conto, with an increasing gap of 8/10 of a second. Let's have a look as they come across the start-finish line again. Top for De Conto. And let's have a look. And almost a second between De Conto and Francesco Salenta. That's quite an impressive performance put together by De Conto, the reigning European champion, as he's able to not only take the lead from Francesco Salenta, but increase his gap lap after lap. Still, we more than halfway through the distance in these 25 laps race. We shall see if Paolo De Conto is able to hold on with the same pace until a checkered flag. Of course, his experience speaks for him, but Francesco Salenta is still behind with 8/10 of an advantage on Fabian Federer. Mine Kramers still 4. I think for now, Chris, the top 4 seem to me very stable, but we have a battle coming in with Bas Lammers and Mine Kramers for 4 as the Dutchman is getting close to his fellow countrymen. And let's not forget Jorik Peks in 6th position. Sorry, 7th position, as he just lost one to Ben Halley in a good pace right now. The wildcard from Britain now in 6th.
Yeah, Ben Hanley absolutely flying in the final here. He said he's on the grid that he was feeling very confident coming into this, here to prepare for the World Championships, and what better way to prepare than beating the man that looks set to come and take, well, that was well in contention to come and take one of this title this weekend, the man that many would have expected to go and do it in the final, Jorik Pex. Ben Hanley up into 6th place then, Paolo Di Conto leading the way, now leading the championship. Well, he got 4th at Salisbury, European champion last year, did that with 3 victories, 2 times world champion as well. He's pretty much been on podiums of European or world championships for the last 3 years now. So Paolo Di Conto, and even before that, stretches as far back as 2011 when he was winning titles as well. So Paolo Di Conto, very experienced driver. He's going to add another big trophy into his cabinet the way it's going. In towards the chicane ahead of us. That's a good move being made there by Patrick Hayek on Stan Pex. Nice move that from the Cosmic Racing Department driver, as we are looking at Paolo Di Conto on screen. Across the line he comes behind Francesco Salenta. Is being chased down hard here by Fabian Federer. He's up to 6th in the championship with his performance so far. He's brought the gap down to less than 0.6 of a second now as they work their way down towards turn 4. That's becoming even less as they now look back towards the number 19, which is Marco Ardigo there in the green and white colours, chasing the red and white colours of the 11 Rick Drazen. The Belgian being chased down by the Italian at the moment. And down towards turn number 10, we can see this battle continuing between Drazen and Ardigo. And then this is the number 7 of Anthony Abbas leading Jeremy Iglesias. Well, he's fallen all the way down to 14th place now, Guillaume. It's just not going well for him so far today, is it? But it is going well for that man there, Fabian Federer. The gap, half a second to Francesco Salenta. Just needs to find that little bit of extra edge now over the next couple of laps as we switch back to Marin Kramers, who's being chased down by Baz Lammers for 4th.
Yeah, definitely a harsh conclusion of this weekend for Jeremy Iglesias. You mentioned him, of course, the Frenchman winner of the first run at Salisbury, and down to the 16th position in the provisional ranking of this final. 10 position lost for Iglesias on the 10 chassis. So certainly not the conclusion he had expected, but let's say that after difficult qualifying hits already, the final is really in the same, I would say, in the same atmosphere, in the same pace for Jeremy Iglesias, maybe who lacked a bit of pace here on this Lonato Sovgara karting track. One who's not lacking any pace is Paolo Di Conto, still leading away, 1.6 second advantage of Fabian Federer. 2 Italian drivers on the 1 and 2 position, so impressive performance from the local boys, of course, who have been running on this Sovgara karting track for years and years. They know this layout like no one else, certainly. Marin Kramers is in 3rd, Baz Lammers 4th, then Benjamin Hanley, the wildcard, is still in 5th. Jorik Pex, 6th position, Pedro Hilbrand is 7th, Marco Arrigo is 8th, Rick Drazen 9th, and Mikko Tossellini is 10. We have a look at the drivers when they make their way into the first corner, out of it, down to the hill, into the straight line, and into the first hairpin. As you can see, 5 laps, less than 5 laps to checkered flag. The gap remain kind of stable so far, at least what it concerns the top of the grid, the top of the field, with 1.5 between the first two, 1.9 between Marin Kramers in 3rd position and Fabian Federer. As you can see on screen, the number 8 of Jorik Pex, the Dutchman, in 6th position with a drop of 2 places as he makes his way into the last hairpin of the track. Disappointment certainly for Jorik Pex so far, as he's standing currently in 2nd position of the championship. He was leading for just 1 point on Iglesias after Salisbury. He's now 3 points behind Di Conto. That's going to be very tight, I'm afraid, for Jorik Pex, as we are less than 3 laps before the checkered flag. 3 laps as the 3 points difference between Paolo Di Conto and Jorik Pex, stuck in 6th position. The driver number 8, you have the driver number 9 on screen on the live stream. This is Fabian Federer, the Italian driver, making their way into the last part of the track. Chris, impressive performance, no doubt about this, from this guy on screen, the number 1 driver from CRG, Paolo De Conto. Really on another planet, let's say. That's still at least another pace from the rest of the field. Fabian Federer is down to 1.7 seconds behind. But there's still an interesting battle coming on here in the first FA, and you can see 2 drivers fighting for 4th position. This is Bas Lammers in the 22, and in the 93, Benjamin Harley, the wildcat from Britain. Those two are going to offer certainly a good battle in the later stages of this final, and it goes for it and takes the inside line in the chicane. Beautifully made from your fellow countryman, Chris. Benjamin Harley now in 4th.
Yeah, Ben Hanley there up to 4th. I tell you what, this could, if there was a bit more of a battle there, then it may have just helped Jorrit Peks. The dream may not have been over just yet. Bas Lammers can find a way back past and create a battle there, then Jorrit Peks could steal a couple of places, and you never know, along with it, a title as well. So it could still change. It's not over yet. For Paolo De Conto at the moment, he is in a great position to secure the title, but I wouldn't say it's over just yet. We still have a few laps in a race to go. We are coming on to the last lap, in fact. 23 laps have been completed. Now make that 24. Well, coming into this weekend, Jeremy Iglesias led Jorrit Peks by 1 point. And then coming in to this final, that had changed hands. So Jorrit Peks was leading Jeremy Iglesias by 1 point. It had been a very much two-way fight between them. Iglesias had a, let's have a look, a sort of 30, I think it's a 13-point advantage over Paolo De Conto, who leads the race. But somehow, well, I say somehow, the Italian has done what he's done best. He's a 2-time world champion over the last 2 years. He's the reigning European champion, and he's here to defend his title, and he's done that successfully. Paolo De Conto is the 2018 champion. He is victorious once again. Paolo De Conto wins on home soil here to take the championship, and I believe they're pointing down to the number 1. He is going to run that for at least 1 more year. Fantastic drive from Paolo De Conto there, and good to see the sportsmanship from Fabian Federer. What a fantastic performance. He deserved it on the day. There's no two ways about it. He drove a fantastic set of heats and an even better final. And Paolo De Conto is going to leave Lonato a European champion once again. For the 2nd year in a row, De Conto will stand on that top step of the championship podium. He was under investigation at one stage in the race. Whether something will happen about that is another story. But for now, that is the result. Paolo De Conto wins. Fabian Federer finishes the race in 2nd place. What a fantastic performance from him. He gained 6 places in the process. Marin Kramers finishes in 3rd. Ben Hanley in 4th place. A fantastic performance from him as well to end the weekend. Bas Lammers is 5th place. Jorrit Peks, having just missed out on the title, is 6th. Then it's Pedro Hiltbrand in 7th. 8th place is Marco Ardigo, and then Mirko Torsolini 9th, Rick Driesen 10th, Patrick Hayek 11th, Stan Peks is 12th, Anthony Abbas 13th, Alexi Orlando 14th, Simo Puharka 15th, Noah Millau is 16th, Simo Puharka 15th. I think we're just going to get a message delivered, so we're just going to pause for 1 second.